Hail to our legal warriors. A favorite saying of mine that I've learned in my 30 years of doing legal criminal work is make the most out of the crisis. What do I mean by that? How does it apply to the criminal law and in all walks of life? If you're interested in this area, stay tuned because this is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear, and I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington state for more than 20 years. And I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. Now, just jumping right into it. I can't tell you how many times that I say this to our clients who are in distress because, let me tell you, being charged with a crime or having something traumatic happen is a big deal. I often tell the people that we're helping, make the most out of the crisis. And what do I mean by that? Well, as we learn, as we go through life, sometimes negative things that happen to us, we don't want them to happen, but if we handle them correctly, they end up being some positive to it. They end up being a building block or a stepping stone to a better situation, to a better version of ourselves in the future. And I remember when I was first told, make the most out of the crisis, and I'll just share, I'm open book for the most part. I had pretty destructive personal relationship. Lots of breaking up and getting back together. And when I got into counseling, I remember at the end, the final end of this situation many years ago, my counselor got on the phone and said, "Are you, okay, Lance?" And I was upset. I was probably crying and distraught. And I remember the words that this wise counselor said, "Lance, what's most important is we make the most out of this crisis." And I think I have. I've been in all types of therapy since then, and that's really helped strengthen my understanding of how I work, how people work, and how people work in these type of crisis and difficult situations. So if something bad has happened to you, it's important to look at the obstacle in front of us and to go towards that obstacle and do things to not only help improve the situation that we're in dealing with the obstacle, but hopefully that will end up also improving ourselves in the long run. So how does that apply to a crime? Well, as far as criminal defense work goes, most often somebody gets charged with some type of crime that is based upon and caused by something difficult in their life. It could be an alcohol problem that is just simply biological, or it could be drinking due to a loss, a death, or a loss of a job or depression. In a domestic violence situation, those are really unfortunate situations. It could be based upon the way one sees the world. There's anger and stuff there that comes out on our loved ones that we probably don't want to come out on them. And there's counseling and classes and education that we can do to understand why we may have allegedly reacted in a way that turned out to be against the law. There's never an excuse for bad behavior, but oftentimes there is an explanation, a human explanation of why all of us can end up doing things at times. And not everyone that gets accused of a crime, but we've all done things at times that we weren't at our best, right? And so as part of a criminal case, oftentimes we want to make the most out of the crisis because there's certain things that someone accused of a crime can do that's going to help the case, that's going to help the prosecutor feel better about taking a risk and being more forgiving to the suspect or the defendant. At the same time, ends up benefiting the client, benefiting the person accused. They can see a new way of looking at things. We're not really taught much in school, at least where I grew up in Nebraska, about why we do what we do, right? If someone steals something, if it's not for sustenance, it's not to try to eat, oftentimes it's based upon some type of depression. There's a complicated factor about why someone might take something and not know why, okay? That might be controversial to others, but that's my experience from being in this system for 30 years. The same way, if we have a situation that's a domestic violence situation and those are terrible and there's no excuse for it at all, But however, there can be explanations if people have a great deal of anger at their parents from growing up they're not aware of. Oftentimes our partner stands in for parent in the old part of our brain, and therefore we have a heightened reaction when there's a dispute. And we'll get much more upset if there's a dispute with our partner than if there is with our dry cleaner. And learning about those things can help make sure it doesn't happen again, and can also make the most out of the crisis by trying to see some things that might be running a particular person that's from the past, because we're all the sum of our past experiences, our past triumphs, and our past traumas, okay, and our perceived traumas that other people may not see that way, right? I have traumas in my life that people wouldn't perceive that way. My eyes don't work right. I have to choose which eye I use, okay? And, growing up, that was a big deal. I was really focused on use the correct eye, otherwise your eye's going to float over here, Lance, and someone's going to shun you in the school or something like that. And so it's been a difficult situation for me to connect to others growing up, and it's taken therapy and counseling for me to understand that, and that could cause me to act in certain ways that other people's might not act when I was younger in life. And that applies to everybody. Everybody has their own version of that. So if you're charged with a crime, or you're just dealing with stuff in general in life, try to think about, if you're in a crisis situation, it's a terrible thing to be in, but there's steps you can take to help yourself and hopefully to make the most out of the situation. Get the most benefit from all the hard work that you're hopefully going to seek out to do to fix the problem that you're currently in, while improving your outlook in life, improving your prospects going forward, and for me, most importantly, improving how you feel. So, make the most out of the crisis. If you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get the help they need. And more importantly, if you got a legal problem, if you feel like you're in a crisis and you're in Washington State with a criminal matter, we might be a good match for you. You can give our office a call. We'll listen to what happened. We'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.